honestly really like this movie. I still don't get how these movies got so popular, but I still think this is a pretty decent movie. It's weird that they get better the more there are, because that's usually not, what happens with series. They get worse the longer they go, like Freddy Krueger. Like the last two installments, 6 and 7, weren't the best, if I'm remembering how many there were correctly. The last two movies I didn't like, and Robert Englund's movies. Obviously not counting New Nightmare and Jason versus Freddy, because those aren't exactly a part of them. Anyway, this movie kind of, I don't know for sure, kind of retcons another thing. Just like how in Jason 5, they were like, Jason's cremated. That's impossible. He can't be alive. Because the series was taking a new direction and they weren't going to use Jason anymore. Um, then in the next movie, he's in a coffin when he's supposed to be cremated. So, and the movie ends with him, getting drowned, chain, rock, everything. But it ends with like a little wink at the audience that he's going to come back because his eye opens. So you assume he's going to get out of the water and survive and get away before the police get there or something. But no, he did die. Like, this girl in this movie has like powers like Carrie, where she does telekinesis and stuff when she loses control of her emotions. So she's just kind of a knockoff of Carrie. um, and she like brings him back to life when she wants to bring her dad back to life. Like, she closes her eyes and she's like, "Oh, I wish I could bring you back to life." And then Jason comes back to life and gets out of the water. He doesn't kill her for some reason. Obviously, plot-wise, she's the final girl. But he doesn't kill her for whatever reason. He comes walking out of the water, she's passed out, and he doesn't kill her. So, kind of dumb. There's a doctor in this movie that's probably the worst character in the series. He's not actually, acting wise, but people wise, he's a terrible person. And then they also introduced the best character of the series so far, Nick. He's probably the only man that I've liked in these movies, because the other ones have been, douchebags, or their only personality is having sex with women and then immediately getting killed by Jason, because that's just kind of a part of these movies, so they don't have much character development. Demon was pretty cool, and I think it was part 6 or part 5. It was a recent one I watched. But, throughout the movies, they haven't had that much character development, or they're assholes. Sexism, not treating your friends decently and not respecting their boundaries when they tell you not to call you names, like that one dude that kept calling his one friend a bad fuck or something. And Nick is like the perfect person, which is kind of ironic that out of all the movies, he's like, the best person, when in the deleted scenes, their original take on him was that he was gonna be a stalker. He has 2 deleted scenes that are simply called Nick the Stalker Part 2. So they were originally going to have Nick be a stalker. And he even has a line about the girl having a nice butt. Just being an asshole when she tells him to leave him alone. Most of the deleted scenes in this movie are just kills being more brutal that got cut down. And a lot of them actually aren't even that changed. Like Melissa's death, she gets an axe to the head, and then she gets thrown. Her deleted scene is the exact same, just it lingers more on the axe on her head for a few seconds. There's a head crush that's like way more gory than, the other one that is in the final cut of the movie. They also have, a special feature of the one girl had probably one of the best lines in the movie, where this girl's a bitch to her, saying, you're not her type, you need a makeover. And then later in the movie, she's like, touch up my ass, or something like that. And there's a video, like 15 years later, of her hanging out and getting a makeover with that girl. It was pretty funny. But yeah, there's a bunch of deleted scenes. There's Zombie Dad, which I need to talk about, the actual scene in the movie. He's been dead for like 10 years at least, because she was a child when he died, and she is probably 18, 19 in this movie. She was probably 6, 7, maybe 8 when he died. I don't know for sure because they never give her a confirmed age, which really doesn't matter since she doesn't have any sex scenes. So, there's no, thinking about fucking all these horror movies that have high schoolers having sex. I don't think you need an age when in horror movies, as long as they're not doing stupid sex scenes with people that are supposed to be minors in the movie, even if the actors are of age. But anyways, like, it's clearly been a long time since her dad died, and she ends up beating Jason by bringing her dad out of the water, which is where he died. And he just looks alive. Like, his eyes are open. And not only that, he looks human. Like, he's not decaying or anything. But he's been down there a long ass time. They have a deleted scene where he looks like a zombie, and that's simply what they call his deleted scene is a zombie dad. Then yeah. They also do a scene that didn't really make that much sense because of all the times it's happened in the series, where Jason, literally in the last movie, stabbed a knife through 2 people while they were on a bike. And there was also the hammock kill, where he killed 2 people. But in this movie, he stabs the main character's mom, and that's it. When Mr. Cruz uses the bomb as a human shield, he stabs her, and that's it. It's weird. Why didn't he kill Cruz? Later he kills him, but it's honestly unsatisfying because he was a complete asshole throughout the entire movie. And all he gets is like a saw, an off-screen saw to the chest. And they kind of hype it up. Like, Jason's following him for quite a while with the saw. And then when he finally gets to him, it's just a little saw off-screen to his chest. But in the deleted scene, once again, there's more gore. Because people just can't handle gore in horror movies for some reason. So studios have been cutting it down for years. There's also the sleeping bag kill, which was pretty cool and pretty creative. Though I did think it was kind of dumb. She hides herself in the thing. She doesn't struggle that much. She could have tried to crawl out of it. In the deleted scene, he just absolutely destroys her. Like, he's smacking her like 4 or 5 times. But in the final cut that's in the movie, he just hits her one time against the tree and she's done. But you know, the deleted scene is full. It's still how it gets in the movie. Like, they even show her dead on the ground. But she has like no blood on her face after all that. Like, it's crazy. What else can I say? Honestly, it was a pretty decent movie, though I did think the main character being kind of a ripoff of Carrie was weird. Obviously not the same motivation. She's not exactly bullied by people. Besides Melissa, she's bullied by one person. Like, Carrie gets bullied by a bunch of people and she goes on a killing spree. This girl has powers and she mainly uses them to get angry at people that treat her like crap, like Dr. Cruz and Melissa. And then eventually she uses it to try and kill Jason, who's trying to kill her. But just the powers, the fact that it takes, emotional shit to do it, is just weird. The only difference is the fact that she can apparently bring people back to life. Though I do think it was one more thing I thought it was dumb, that they never found Jason's body when they knew where they killed him. I'm sure Tommy told him. Speaking of Tommy, he's not in this movie. I almost forgot about that, just because the movie was pretty entertaining. It actually had me really invested in the characters in this one, because I really didn't want Nick to die. I didn't want the girl to die, Tina. Blanked on her name for a second. Yeah, I really didn't want Tina and Nick to die. It was the first movie where I was really invested in the 2 main characters. Nothing wrong with the other ones, they just weren't as developed. Because I really didn't want them to die, and luckily both of them survive. But I guess that's really about it. The makeup for Zombie Jason was okay. Could have been better. But yeah, that's about it.